Well, it's so complex, and it's such a mystery as to why people sink into depression and why some come out and others do not. But here's the thing. I think that any depressed person, or if you're around somebody that's depressed, there's a research project that needs to be done. From New Life Ministries, this is Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn. I'm Stephen Arterburn. And Going Deeper is all about taking the tough issues, the hard issues of life, looking a little bit deeper inside so that we can gain some insight into our lives. Hi there. Continuing my series here on what to say and what not to say to a person who is deeply depressed. And thanks for joining me for going deeper into this. You know, sometimes when someone is depressed, there's only one person that can help them and one person that can hurt them. You may be the only person in that depressed person's life that has any influence or any connection on them. And if that's the case, oh my goodness, you've got to be really careful what you say and what you do. Now here's one of the worst things that you can do. Let's say that you went to a Tony Robbins success and motivation seminar and that made you feel great. Or let's say that years ago you read a book by Norman Vincent Peale on positive thinking. Or let's say that at some time or another you read one of Robert Schuller's books on possibility thinking. Now, maybe you read one of my books on pitiful thinking. I don't know. But anyway, here's the deal. You might think that what this person needs is just to stop thinking so negatively about themselves. So you tell them, look, you got to replace all these negative thoughts with some positive thoughts, and that's going to make it better. You got to think with possibility. Think positively, and you can succeed like Tony Robbins he succeeded. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Or you might say, you know, I look at what you're doing and I see that you have no confidence whatsoever in yourself. And so if we could just build that confidence up, we'd get you out of this depressed state. Well, it's so complex and it's such a mystery as to why people sink into depression and why some come out and others do not. But here's the thing. I think that any depressed person, or if you're around somebody that's depressed, there's a research project that needs to be done. It's kind of twofold. What in the world could be the source of this depression? And then secondly, what could we do to help it? Minimizing it or trying to come up with some thinking problem fix just isn't going to do it. So if we're talking to this person and we're looking at things, we might discover, oh wow, that was a horrible loss that they went through. Maybe it was a loss that they experienced 10 years ago and they've never fully grieved that loss. And now, let's say because of COVID or something like that, they can't overpower the feelings that are still there from the loss. And so now you add this COVID horror we're going through and it's just too much. And they sink into depression. A lot of people have got what it takes to keep going. They haven't solved anything, but they're just on the outer edge. They're not sinking into depression. And then the unexpected happens and they fall down in it. So then, now we could help direct that person to go through the grieving process, get help from a counselor to grieve, so that original source of pain and suffering and struggle is resolved once and for all. That would be such a great thing. And if you look at all this and you say, well, there isn't anything like that. There's no concrete instance that led to this depression. Then it could be a change in hormones. It could be a change in brain chemistry, circumstances. Somebody might be hurting them now, abusing them at work or in school or at home. All sorts of influences there that we could look into. So what we want to do, try to find maybe the source or help them explore the source a little bit, and then help them consider some different things that they might try. It's such a contrast to telling them to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. By the way, that really wouldn't work, would it? You couldn't get yourself up off the ground. Anyway, that's another issue. But what you want to do is never say, come on, it's positive thinking here, it's lack of confidence here, let's get with it. Because the harder a person tries, trying just gets so much harder. Don't be that person that complicates that. So we'll finish up by saying this: be the force or the power or the influence in a person's life that moves them from stuck in depression to a little bit of a baby step toward better. And there's nothing more powerful than a listening ear, an encouraging word of, I'm always going to be here for you, I'm never going to abandon you, and I'll do anything that I can to help you. That sure is a lot better than, hey, you just got to cheer up. Thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. We'll see you next time right here on Going Deeper. Thank you for joining me for Going Deeper. I hope something I've said may have helped just a little bit. If you have a question you'd like me to answer or comment, just email me at stevesocial@newlife.com. I'll see you next time.
If you want to support Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn, be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if you know someone who would benefit from this episode, be sure to share it with them. See you on the next Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn from New Life Ministries.